Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Urban Empire. And I think it's time to build a new district. We have a decent amount of industry demand. We have a little bit of residential demand. So what I think I'm going to do is build a small district, maybe over here, and we'll focus it a lot on industry now that we have the ability to set our own spread. So what I'm going to do is create district. We're going to build it right off of the last district here. So I'm going to put it right about there. And we're going to draw it out. Now, it's not going to be legal initially, but we'll make it legal later. And I'll make it a little bit of a sliver here. Okay, so to make it legal, all I have to do is drag it down here. And we may have to make it a little bit bigger, maybe? I'm wondering if this curve is going to cause us to have some problems. Alright, hold on. I think I may have... So what I'm doing is just right-clicking to create a new corner. Oh, it's saying too small. Okay, so that's the only downside we have. All right, that's not too bad. There we go. Now it is the right size. So, ooh, didn't take my change there for a second. There we go. All right, I think that's about how I want it. So what I'm going to do... I kind of actually like that more triangular shape. Not as well ordered. Kind of gives a little bit different flavor, though, doesn't it? All right, we'll do something like that. It's going to cost a lot less money than our first district did. And we're going to have a vote on this, hopefully. Now, we don't see as much support here, though, which I'm a little bit concerned about. But let's just continue here. This is fairly important, though, for our city. So, confirm land plan. And then now we get the choice of what we want to set this up as far as the spread. So we don't have that much demand for residential. So I'm going to bring that down to, let's say, roughly 20%. And then we'll do 20% for the business area and 60% for industry. So putting much more of a focus on industry than we are residential. And as we can see, this entire area here is mixed. So it's going to be both residential and business in this area. But mostly we're doing industrial. Okay, let's go ahead and confirm that zoning. We could also put in a church here at this point. But the church looks like it's fairly expensive. So I'm probably going to want to save up for that. I'm going to confirm services. It looks like we're much more in support now that we've kind of gone through more of the choice. We have the Physiocratic Party definitely on our side. Interestingly enough, we are, at least how we're role-playing things, we're probably right conservative. The party that we're probably going to have the easiest time getting things done with is the left conservative party. So as far as social values go, we match up with them, but as far as right and left, not so much. All right, well, in any case, we're going to go ahead and confirm the services because we can't really afford any of these right now. And that looks like pretty much good. I mean, we don't really have demand for the commercial right now, but I would like some zoned. That might be a mistake, though. But we can always get another residential district if we get later residential demand. So let's go ahead and propose this district. I am going to do a normal vote because I couldn't afford it with my personal funds anyway. It looks like we have decent support here. So let's go ahead and go normal vote. And we'll hit OK. And let's go ahead and see what we can do about this vote. So, as I discussed in the last video, we can shift the support of some of these parties. Now, right now, these guys are more or less in favor. And honestly, I don't feel like I really have to push this too much. But just to show how this works, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it unless I feel like I need it. So for now, we're just going to wait. I'm going to use my resources appropriately because you don't want to waste goodwill, in my opinion. You got to save it for the things that really matter. So let's just go ahead. All right, business is booming for glass. The new district vote is halfway decided, so let's see how it is laying right now. So again, it looks like we're going to win, so I don't feel like I really have to fight for this one, so we're just going to allow it to happen. It could be because of the spread choice that I did, and we actually do have more commercial demand here, so it was probably... And we also see through here, through the log, we also see some of the parties oftentimes will appeal to other parties to get them to support things. So oftentimes you don't actually have to do anything for support to shift. And it looks like that worked. As you can see, the National Swarelian Party is now in the approved box over here. So again, without us intervening, we got it to move the way we wanted to. Intervening can have a lot of consequences. Not only can you burn goodwill, sometimes if you're really heavy-handed with things, you can actually force the popularity of a party. So if you keep yelling at a particular party, the people might respond by supporting that party more. So the party you don't agree with will actually gain in power to an extent. We can see some of that here if we go in the data. If we go to political support, we can see the political support of all the parties. So right now, the Physiocratic Party has the largest support. So if we have another vote come in, they're the ones that are going to win the most seats. We have the Free Democratic Party has the least support, and then the National Swarelian Party has like kind of the middle. Now, this isn't too far, one way or the other, but if we're too heavy-handed, it's quite possible that, for instance, these right liberal guys, if they are going to oppose us a lot, they might gain a lot of seats and be really hard to convince anything through. So that's another thing you have to balance. You have to balance making sure that you have the parties in power that you want to have in power. And if you're too heavy-handed with things, sometimes you can force things the wrong way unintentionally. So you have to be careful with that. All right, so Physiocratic Party wins the election. We kind of already expect that. And then the National Swarelian Party come in second. And again, we expect that. But we're going to see a dynamic change now in the council. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. First off, we have our new district vote. But after we're done with this vote, I'm going to show you how the council seats have changed. So let's begin the voting. We expect this to pass. But this time, we only had 2 parties in support of it, and we had 1 party that was against it. But it was kind of 50-50, more or less, or close to 50-50. So it wasn't too bad. And it did pass, so there we go. Now, if we come over and we look at, for instance, the Physiocratic Party, they have 21 seats, which is actually less than they used to have. Over here, the National Swarelian Party has 20, and the Free Democratic Party also has 20. So even though these guys won technically more votes, it wasn't enough to give them more council seats. But these guys used to have significantly more seats than they have now, and they lost a lot of those seats over to the National Swarelian Party. And considering that they're more in the middle, we can probably get them to shift the way we want them to much more easily. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let this district kind of play itself out and see how it affects our funds. And if it doesn't go in our favor in a little bit here, I may have to raise taxes. But I'm hoping as industry comes in here, we will... Ooh, economic crisis. The economic situation of Mousehaven is worrying. If you don't do something, your career as a mayor might be cut short. Okay, send a letter to the Emperor or pay a visit to Vienna to ask for money. So more or less, send a letter. That's not as big of a measure. Pay a visit. That's more of a measure. So it shows that I care about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pay a visit. All right. So evict. Wow. We got a bunch of money. City funds. But we're gullible. So, we had to humiliate ourselves a little bit there, I guess. I'm guessing that's why we got gullible. I'm not sure how that plays a part, but it is what it is. But we did get a bunch of funds there. I didn't expect that to happen. That's actually the first time I've seen that event. It's not like we're that far off or that bad off, but I might have to raise taxes a little bit, even though it is kind of counter to the way I want to play. We are seeing our deficit is starting to drop here, and we have a ton of funds here, which is actually good because when thermodynamics happens, we can immediately build a railway station. So I'm actually really happy that I got those funds. Let's go ahead and take a look at this event. So, your city administration needs to make a decision about the interior of the forthcoming railway station. So we have 3 different choices we can do. I'm going to go with an imperial setup because, I mean, that's us role-playing, right? We're pro-imperial, so we'll do that. And as a result, the Physiocratic Party is also gaining goodwill with me because they are also pro-imperial. As a matter of fact, we didn't really take a look at that in too much detail, but if we take a look at the city council here, and we look at some of their description here, I'm going to assume the National Sorelian Party, and as we see here, desire for autonomy and self-governments, they're pretty much anti-imperial. So pro-imperial, anti-imperial. And then these guys, I don't know if they really... They want liberties from the empire, but I don't think they go so far as wanting autonomy and self-governance, and possibly even independence. So we have to keep that in mind. I may want to change taxes here, though. I'm really thinking about it. I'm going to raise a little bit of taxes. So we're going to go with taxing. And I'm going to go for a business tax. And we're going to go only slightly up. Let's say 13%. Not a big change, a little change. Let's propose this taxing. And for the most part, it looks like it's going to probably pass naturally, but we'll see what we can do. So we'll hit OK. And now let's see what we can do. So we still have this mostly in the bag, and we can try and appeal. So let's appeal here. So we don't need to appeal the Physiocratic Party. They're full in support, so that's fine. Sorelians we could probably push. We have only 2 goodwill with them. The Free Democratic Party, they're really not in support of it, but they don't have a lot of goodwill with me either. Let's see if we can just push the Sorelian, National Sorelian Party just a little bit. We'll just plead with them a little bit here. All right, you need to ask if the National Sorelian Party would help you in voting. All right, praise the positive effects behind your position, or tell them you need a favor. Let's just praise the positive effects. National Sorelian Party councilors generally distrust you, but you might have gained a few votes. So we just lost what goodwill we had. We're back down to 0, but we did get support for that vote of 1.5, so that swung them much more in this direction. We could do the same thing with these guys as well, but possibly even go into negative goodwill. So I'll plead with them. I could demand. Yeah, let's be a little bit more forceful. We'll demand. Even though I feel like I've got this in the bag, let's demand, just to show the difference. It's our last chance to demand that the Free Democratic Party support the vote. What do you say? All right. You need to understand how important this issue is. So this worked really well. At least a few members of the party listened to your demands. We got a +3 support for the vote, and we had no cost. Well, we had a little bit of cost here, just not stating it. Maybe that's a little bit of a bug, I'm not sure. But we did drop down to -2 goodwill, but it wasn't a massive penalty. We didn't have really any repercussions for that, as far as I can tell. Although it is possible we may have pushed their support up, as we see 34%, and before it was lower than that. And the National Sorelian Party, their support is plummeted. That's interesting. Well, in any case, I think this is going to pass now. I don't think we have to do a whole lot more. As a matter of fact, I probably went overboard with that, but I just want to kind of showcase how that stuff works. So it's going to be a lot easier to get the Physiocratic Party to do what we want it to do, but unfortunately, they're always in line with what we want to do, so we don't really have to push them as hard. Whereas the guys that we usually have to push, these guys, they don't really like me very much, so it's going to be harder and harder to get them to do what I want. In any case, let's go ahead and go forward. I don't think we really have to do too much here, and we already have the Physiocratic Party already doing stuff for us, so it's quite possible we would have been able to get away with that without really doing much of anything. Oh. One thing I also want to do is I want to do a vote on getting a church. So we have more of our residential stuff over here, and if I were to build more residential, I'd probably build a district over here. So with that being the case, I might want to put the church in here. So let's go ahead. I forgot to rename this. Can I rename it now? I don't know if I can. Modify district, confirm zoning, confirm services, rename district. That's what I'm looking for. All right. We fell out of our normal naming. Second. There we go. That's all I wanted to do. All right. I'm not going to do that district just yet, even though we do have some residential demand, because it's probably a little bit too much cost for what we've got going. But I do want to modify this district and put in a church, because we can afford it now. We've got extra money. So we're going to put in the church, although the church will cost us some. And I would like to put it, we put it here, it will affect a good chunk of this district, at least where the residential is. So I'll put it right about, we might have been a little overlapping the street, right about there. We're going to go ahead and confirm that. This looks like it's going to pass easily, and I have a feeling that the Free Democratic Party is probably more in support of it because of its of their, well, no, actually, these guys are conservative. So, yeah, I can see why these guys would be against it. But it looks like people are pretty much in support of that. And there's not a huge amount of investment. And one thing that we're really going to help here is our social life. So it will definitely help our city overall. So we're going to go ahead and confirm these services. And we'll propose the district. And we'll just do a normal vote. It looks like it's going to pass. I'm not going to have to work too hard for it. But we'll go ahead and take a look at it. So yeah, it's pretty strong in support. I'm not going to appeal. I don't think it's worth wasting the goodwill. Now, over time, our goodwill will return back to a neutral point, or it will improve. So we won't have to worry about that negative after a while. All right, so the modification of the taxes has come up. It looks like, again, it's going to pass, so we'll begin the voting. And yeah, it pretty much easily passed there. Again, I probably overkilled the appeal there. But that should help us with our income. And look at that, 20K. So now we're in a pretty good spot. We only raised taxes a little bit, so it's not going to affect our businesses too bad, I'm hoping. And we're not going to see a lot of bankruptcies anyway, I hope. We're pretty stable for our demands, although we do have a decent amount of residential demand. Oh, and our modified district has come up. Let's go ahead and begin the voting. And yeah, this one just crushed it. So we're going to have our church built. And we will see the benefits of that now coming in. So look at our social life starting to skyrocket. Oh, and we also have victory conditions. I have not actually seen that myself. I actually don't even know where that is. All right, I'm not exactly sure where the victory conditions are. But we advanced towards one. All right, well, that part of the tutorial I did not get to is where the victory conditions are. All right, well, that's something I'll probably look into in the future, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I do want to save money, though, because I want to be able to build the railroad station. And railroad stations are rather expensive. It might even cost almost all of the money we have here. But I think it will be worth the investment.
Thus, from this slight and very short experiment, we may understand and judge of the mighty and wonderful laws of the heavens and the nature of winds.
Okay, so let's go to the progress cloud and choose our next one. So out of this, one thing I would really like to get is Bessemer process because it allows me to unlock densities in our district. But for the meantime, I think I'm going to go on to gas infrastructure. It'd be nice to pick this up eventually. And go back to our city view here. And we should have enough cash, I think, in the bank to get our railroad station. So what we're going to need to do is place institution. And where is... Oh, we first have to click on it. So this is where our railroad goes. As far as I understand things, when you are building something like this, there's only really one legal place for it. If I look around, you don't see a green box like what we have there. So we'd be building right here. And the benefits it's going to give us is both growth and entertainment, which is something that we do currently have negative. So that would be nice to turn around. But the downside is, once we get to the actual cost of this, is it costs us almost all the money we have. Now, right now, because we actually have the money, this is probably going to pass easily because we have 2 parties in support of it. And this guy's, on the fence, but not too far on the fence. So let's just do a normal vote. I can't do these other things because first, I don't have enough prestige to do this. And then, obviously, I don't have 2 million to just buy it myself. So we'll do a normal vote. And let's take a look at it. So right now, it looks like it's going to be a landslide victory. So I'm just going to let it go. We'll see in halfway through its process to see how far along it is. Another thing I would like to probably do, I think, is start thinking about, we also had another service that we could build, and that was police, if I remember. So let's take a look at our first district again. And we could modify this district. Oh, I might not be able to do that right now. Okay, because we're currently working on... Okay, golden future. The world is entering a boom that shall never end, despite all the others having done so. An economic boom is simply blah, 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 and so on. Okay, the emperor today viewed the so-called locomotives, which are powered by steam. The clergy applaud them as an exemplary work of God. And, okay, a number of amateur scientists have risen dramatically since the publication of the British novel. Okay, of this British novel. Okay, cool stuff. So you'll get newspapers come up every so often. Let's take a look at how the vote's going. So again, it looks like a landslide victory here for us. Not very many people are for sure decided that they want to vote against it, and a lot of people are going to vote for it. Now, I'm a little bit concerned that the National Swarelian Party will probably lose a lot of council seats here in the upcoming election, but it looks like the Physiocratic Party is going to run away with the election, so that's not going to be that big of a deal, I think, at the moment. Okay. And they're more or less appealing with each other. Ooh, we got an event. Strange gift. You've been sent a gift for some tropical Caribbean island. When you go to the port to collect it, you find that the gift is a live llama with a short note attached to it. Congratulations on your mayorship. I wish you a long and successful career. As a token of my goodwill, I have sent you Hector. Treat him well. Sincerely yours, Penultimo. Accept a gift? Sure, why not? Okay, so what has this done? We gained some prestige. That's good. And bonus to fun, too, for... Mouse Hafen overall. All right, so that's good. And vote is now completed. Let's go ahead and begin the vote. And of course, it passes. All 3 parties went in support of it, although this party probably not as much as the others. Wow, 20 out of wow. National Swarelian Party really liked that. Okay, well, it got passed. So now we're going to see, as time goes on by here, average fund's going to go way up, and now our people are a little bit happier. The main things that we're having a problem with right now is health and the physical environment. Now, the physical environment, we could more than likely, as a matter of fact, if you click on any particular thing, it actually tells you what you can do to improve it. So building parks is one way you can do it. I think there are some edicts that also can improve it. But right now, I don't think we're even able to do anything with parks. And I don't yet have the ability to do a clinic, so we can't really change the average health yet either. I am noticing residential is going up at the moment. I may want to think about doing another small district over here and making it predominantly residential, but I don't know if that demand's high enough right now to do that. Another thing we could do is we could just improve the density once we are able to do that as well. So, we are losing money, though. So, it might be time to think about that new district. Ooh, what do we got going on here? More prestige? We do have a decent amount of cash, so we could probably afford a small district, although usually small districts cost a decent penny. I think the only other building I could do, modifying district-wise, is a police station, but we're already good in security. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt to have more, but considering how much it costs, I don't think that's the right move right now. Anyway. Now, I don't know how the density thing works. I didn't get that far in the tutorial. Okay, so they won. That's no surprise. Then the Democratic Party comes in second. That will make things a little bit tough. Slavery banned. Okay, that's in Britain or United Kingdom specifically. And public railway opened in United Kingdom. Well, technically, well, it might be a private railway. I'm not sure. Okay, here's something I was going to do, and then I don't remember what it was. I'm very tempted to build that new district. I don't know if we have enough cash for it. Okay. It is hereby proposed women shall be allowed to hold property titles. Do you support it or oppose it? Now, technically speaking, I think I would oppose it, role-playing wise. I don't really know what the ramifications of opposing or supporting a particular thing is. But we see that these are the effects. So if we come over here, demand change for social life, that goes up in females. I don't know exactly what that means, but we also have brain power production added. That goes to the city hall, +5, so that would be really good for us. And then bonus to social life service for females, another +8. Is that the same thing? Oh, no. Service change for social life. Okay, so this mostly is going to obviously affect females. Again, I'm going to role play here and I'm going to oppose. But we'll see. It looks like the parties are super in support of it. So we're going to expect this to pass. I'm not going to force, going against it. But we see here they bring this up about the ability for women to own property and so on. Okay. Usually it's that one main article that is the thing that you're really concerned with. We are starting to turn a profit here. As far as the city goes, I may build the next district out of my... Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to get a profit here. It's not a big profit. Oop. Gas infrastructure. The city administration is pondering between the different types of gas streetlights. Do you want Anglo-Saxon, Parisian, or Viennese? Well, again, we're pro-empire, and if we're part of the Austrian Empire, then Viennese would be the right way to go. And it looks like we have made the Physiocratic Party more popular. And also, we have more goodwill with them, which we already had a ton of goodwill with them anyway, so that's not really too much of a benefit. Alright, well, I'm still going to be patient here. Again, the conservative right-leaning strategy is to be conservative and not overspend. Just take your time. Think things through. I mean, that grant from the Empire really helped us move along to get this railway without having to go massively into debt, as that did cost $2 million by itself. Let's see how the vote is progressing. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a landslide victory, although the National Party looks like it's maybe swung a little out of favor of it. Out of curiosity, how has the city council dynamic changed? So they're still neutral here. These two guys are still opposed to each other. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. All right, so the amount of money we have is starting to go up.
Louis, the porch light is burnt out, and I can't see whether it's dark outside or not.
Okay. So now we have all of these things, and we also have chemicals unlocked. Let's choose our next check. We could do the next cheapest, which would be a lot of edicts and a clinic. Clinic would probably be a good thing to pick up because health is a major concern in the city. Let's go ahead and do it. But probably the next thing after that I'm going to do is Bessemer process. So let's go ahead and start that research. Go back to our city view. And we can now do some things with our district. So demand's gone down a little bit there. All right, so to do this, we go to Modify District. We're going to confirm the zoning. And what we would want to do is gas infrastructure. It's going to cost us 250,000, which is a little bit more than we can afford. Although technically speaking, I could pay for it myself if I wanted to. So it's also going to cost us 13K a month, which is, quite a lot. Maybe something we couldn't afford. I could raise taxes though to pay for it. As a matter of fact, that might be the first thing I do. So let's cancel that. And I'm going to go into the city council. I'm going to go into taxing. And I want a citizen tax here. And I'm going to bring that up to 12%. We're going to make them pay for the gas that we're giving them. And do we raise business tax as well to also pay for it? That might be hard to pass if I do that. We just do citizen tax for now. Although this is projected to give me a lot, 15K a month. That would pay for it. So I'm going to do that, 15K a month. But it may not pass. So this might be requiring me to do some pleading and demanding. All right, so now we need to push these guys around a little bit. But you know what? I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.